Yo, guys, what it do? It's your boy Supreme Chair the God. Now, this is gonna be kind of a unique and different video, but it's something I thought about the last day that I really wanted to do, and it focuses on Eren Yeager, and then weirdly enough, it focuses on Doflamingo from One Piece, and I wanted to kind of parallel the two characters and how both characters kind of came to a similar conclusion. Although I think that one had the means to do it more immediately, or once they got their hands on the means to do it more immediately, while the other was slowly doing it, slowly but surely doing it. And basically what they both were doing or wanted to do was to destroy the world, out of rage and anger and spite and revenge. So I'm gonna start with the flamingo, for people that don't read One Piece or whatever. And then I'm going to talk about Eren Yeager, for people that don't, have never read One Piece. Have never read Attack on Titan or watched the greatest anime of all time. And I'm going to start with the flamingo and just talk about how, Doflamingo is a kid. And first of all, I'm at chapter 802 in One Piece, the One Piece manga. So if there's extra information later about Doflamingo that maybe contradicts anything I say, it's because I simply have not reached that part yet. So just bear that in mind. With Attack on Titan, I'm as far as the latest episode / short film of the anime. So these are my information sources. You know what I'm saying? Chapter 0 or 1 of One Piece to 802, and episode 1 of Attack on Titan to season 4, episode 1, season 4, part 3, episode 1, or part 1, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The latest episode. So just bear that in mind. So I want to talk about Doflamingo, and basically as a kid, Doflamingo was rich, right? And there's these people, celestials or gods, in One Piece, and they basically are the founding, I think 20 of the founding families of the world of One Piece, and they're the ones that started the world government and all of that jazz, and they live in a world of their own, right? I'm not too sure if it's above the clouds necessarily, but they live in a completely different type of society, and everything they do around the world and how they run the world government and the navy and all of that is in order to benefit them, so that they have maximum richness and maximum whatever, right? We don't know too much about them, but that's basically what's implied so far throughout the story. They own slaves, they see themselves as gods, and their blood is beyond other people. And basically, we meet celestial dragons in the series throughout. And they're basically descendants of those lineages. And they see themselves as gods as well. And they're allowed to just run slaves and to commit crimes and murder and whatever. And they are let go by the government because of the position and the bloodline and the titles, right? And Doflamingo is one of the 20 families that started the world government or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's where his family's from. Don't quote Set or some shit. I can't pronounce his goddamn his second name, but his family line is mega important, super important. And he basically runs a little country called Dressrosa, and he runs it viciously and with an iron fist, and he tricks the people into believing that he is the righteous leader, and he saved them and freed them, you know what I'm saying, from their previous king, who was a despicable king who attacked them and yada yada yada. But basically how he ended up in this position and where he's at, and actually there's so much more to talk about actually with the flamingo, I suppose. He's also he's known as the Joker in the underground world, and he's like the merchant of arms, right? He sells guns and illegal devices and poisons and yada 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 to different countries and warring factions and to different pirates and to all different people throughout the world. He's like the connector of the underground world, giving people these things, and he's like a spider's web, and he glues a lot of things together, right? A lot of wars continue raging because he provides arms to countries. A lot of pirates can continue. Excuse me, I just woke up. Can continue ransacking and attacking and growing in strength because he provides them with gas and weapons and ammunition and new devil fruits. And devil fruits are basically a power system, well, a part of the power system in One Piece. For those that haven't watched it, and they basically give people different abilities, and there's only one of each at a time. If a person dies, a new one grows, but you don't really know when and where. But a new one does grow somewhere in the world. And basically, they figured out a way to manufacture them artificially. They don't work perfectly, but they do work. And you know, he's basically selling these things to pirates, and some pirates are becoming super powerful because now they have a legion of pirates with devil fruits, which makes them way stronger than they would have been without them. So that's basically the situation. And on top of that, he has a whole nation, a small nation that he runs, and he's feared, and nobody does anything to him, and he breaks the laws and does as he pleases because of his position. But the interesting thing is, prior to him, becoming a pirate and a nuisance and somebody that's running the underground world, he actually, as a celestial dragon, he as a kid, he was, he was not even a celestial, he was a god, as they say, right? He was living up in the clouds and having slaves and all of that. But his parents weren't fucking with that shit. Like, they didn't feel like that was the right way to live. They were like, and then he was like, but why are we doing this? Like, why are we going to them humans? And his parents would say, that's because that's what we are. Like, and when they were getting like kicked out, and they were like, if we remove your title, you can never get it back, right? You can never gain that title back. And his parents were, that's fine, man. We're just humans. We're just regular people. Like, we shouldn't be housing slaves. We shouldn't be doing all these things and yada, yada, yada. But then out of courtesy, they still gave him like a ton of money and like a mansion and shit. And I'm like, all right, cool. You can go back to being plebeians, to being fucking dirt. But here's some money and here's a house or a mansion. Live out there. And Doflamingo absolutely despised his dad, specifically, especially for doing that, for bringing him down there. And he just hated him, and he was like, I want slaves, like, I want to be pampered, I want to be treated like a god, bro. I'm not like a regular fucking humanoid. Like, why are we here? Like, why are we living like this? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna kind of fast track a little bit because I don't want the video to be like 30 minutes long. I'm almost 10 minutes in already, just talking about Doflamingo. I even started on Eren Yeager. And basically, the country that they're in gets, when people get poor and shit, and there's like a war breaks out, basically. There's like a civil war that kind of breaks out. And, they blame, because they blame the poverty and the struggle to the Celestials and the Dragons. Rightfully so, to be honest. And because Doflamingo's family and heritage is from that, they tied him up and they're like, this is your fucking fault that we're fucking dying and shit like this. You know what I mean? Like, you fuckers are doing this to us, da 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 da. And, the dad is just like, yo, listen, y'all can throw shit at me, y'all can kill me, but please just leave the kids, bro. The kids had nothing to do with it. Like, they were just born into a situation. They never lived fully the life of a dragon or of a god or whatever. And they don't deserve this. Like, kill me, but leave the kids. But Doflamingo, his reaction was different. He was like, y'all can never fucking kill me. Wait till I get out of here. I'm gonna make y'all fucking pay, bro. I'm gonna murk all of y'all. I'm gonna fucking wreak havoc, bro. Y'all put, you know what I'm saying? Yo, put your can never kill me. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking Doflamingo. Don't play with me, man. And he was not crying. He was pissed. He was pissed off, man. He was raging. And he held that anger. And he's like, how dare they tie us up, burn our house, and treat us like shit. And then they killed his mother, you know what I'm saying, essentially. And that was the last straw for him, because him and his dad and brother eventually escaped, and the mother got sick and died from sickness. And Doflamingo just hated his dad even more. Like, why the fuck did you bring us down here to these fucking plebeians, to these disgusting, despicable humans? How dare you? Look what you did to us. Look at my brother suffering. Look at my mom just died, and it's all your fucking fault. Pulled up the glizzy on him, bro, and shot this motherfucker clean in the head. Bah! Pow! This man shot his dad at like 10, 11, 12 years old, bro. He shot his dad in the head square. Pow! And he's murked him, bro. He said, I'm not having this shit. Like, how dare you? Like, this is what you did to me, bro. This is what you did to me. And, he murked him. And then later on in life, he became the guy known as the Joker, the guy known as Don Quixote, Don Flamingo, you know what I'm saying? The Reaper, you know what I'm saying? The guy that runs the underground world, the guy, and his reason for doing it is because he wants to fucking destroy the world, man. He's pissed off. He wants to destroy everything that the world government built. He wants to destroy it because he's sick of them. He hates them. He hates everybody. You know what I'm saying? And he's angry that his life, he was forced down here with these fucking normal people. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, he ended up taking, look, there's backgrounds here I'm going to skip because it's just not that necessary for him. It's more necessary for, like, other characters. So that's his rage. That's his reasoning. That he had to murder his dad and he had to take care of his little brother by himself as a little kid. And he started his own family. And he hired a bunch of goons and villains and whatever and people that were loyal to him. And these people took care of him. And it's because the reason they did that is because they saw his power. He had, what they call a haki, and he had the king's haki, which is like a supreme haki. And he made people foam at the mouth and collapse at his presence because of how powerful his presence is. And the king's haki attracts people, you know what I'm saying? Different types of people, but it attracts people. And so those people were drawn to him, and they groomed and raised him to be the villainous, outrageous monster that he became. And he always wore glasses because I think he had so much anger in his eyes, and he hid it away with the glasses and a smile, a big wide smile. And his goal was to slowly but surely topple the world by weapons of mass destruction that he was helping create, helping fund with one of his minions who was he's essentially the second smartest scientist guy in One Piece behind Vegapunk. At least according to himself, he thinks he's even smarter than Vegapunk, but we know that for a fact he's not. And basically, that guy was creating like monstrous weapons similar to, I won't say similar to nuclear bombs. I don't think anything scales to that in One Piece so far. But, gas, like, SAR gas type shit. Like, the gases that, like, those illegal warfare gases. Like, that's the type of shit that he was on. And that's, what I'm saying? That's the story of Doflamingo and his rage. And if you look at his rage and you compare it to somebody like Eren Yeager, right? And, Eren Yeager's rage feels way, way more justified than Doflamingo's, right? I mean, Doflamingo's rage is somewhat justified, maybe to the people that killed his family, and maybe the people above that, I don't know, maybe just to that. But it's almost kind of petty, like Doflamingo's one, like you understand because he's a kid, right? But then if you look at Eren Yeager's, you know what I'm saying? I think both of them, I think the end result is the same. They both had an overtly extreme reaction to the circumstances, right? And they felt that they were forced in the circumstances and had no way out. They didn't have a say-so. And it's that lack of power that they felt that made them want to attain power so that they can never feel like that again. You know what I'm saying? That's why Doflamingo became such a strong person and built himself up in the underground world and in the world government and in the world in general, and became, took up the position of one of the 7 warlords of the sea. You know what I'm saying? He did that because he knew, like, that's the only way he can not feel weak again. You know what I'm saying? And even then, there was still stronger entities for him to kind of deal with. But he found a way to kind of manipulate and to keep them at bay. With Eren Yeager, we know his story as a little kid. You know what I'm saying? He grew up in a place called, he grew up in Paradise Island. You know what I'm saying? Surrounded by walls, and they were not allowed out these walls because there was man-eating monsters out there known as Titans, killing people. And Eren always dreamed of freedom. Like, he wanted to be able to be outside the walls. Like, why is he confined to this space? Why can't he see the rest of the world? And his best friend Armin showed him, like, pictures of the outside world or what it's supposed to be like. It showed him that deserts, what I'm saying? Shit they never seen. Ice, shit they never seen. Like, lush grass and greenery and just a different world. Sea, like, what? There's an ocean out there? What the fuck? Like, these are only things that they dream of. And that's what he dreams of, until one fateful day, those same man-eating monsters, titans attack, but this time they break through those walls, those impenetrable walls that have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even 1,000 years, something like that. I can't exactly remember the timeline, but they've been there for a long ass time. And these titans that attack this time seem very fucking smart. Some of them seem like they moving like humans, bro. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So, and that day, while he was trying to escape and his mama gets killed, bro. His mama gets eaten by a titan. And this, obviously, it's fucking spoilers alert. And he turns, later on, he finds out that that titan that ate his mom was actually his other mom. His brother's mom, really, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So he dies, his mom dies, sorry, and then, later on he gains powers, you know what I'm saying? Before he even gains power, he joins the military, and he joins the scouts, right? And, he does this in order to get revenge against the monsters that turned his world upside down, collapsed his town, and killed his mom. You know what I'm saying? And that's all he wanted to do, was take revenge. And he didn't even realize it, but his dad gave him like a parting gift, because his dad was away on some doctor shit, and his dad was away while the attack happened. But his dad, he had this dream where his dad gave him like a necklace, and he didn't know what the fuck that necklace was. He later discovers that, his dad gave him the ability of the Attack Titan, which is a Titan that we later discover can see the past, present, and future all at the same time. And how he sees it is that it knows every Attack Titan that ever was and ever will be. You know what I'm saying? So it can send itself messages from the past and from the future. It's really crazy. But so he gains a means to fight back. You know what I'm saying? The same way that Doflamingo gets a means by becoming strong and building a team and owning a country. You know what I'm saying? And doing these things. You know what I'm saying? And by using arms deal to propagate wars and to continue wars and to slowly but surely destroy the planet, the world, and topple everything. You know what I'm saying? Eren gets this ability to topple these enemies, which is everybody outside of these walls, the people that came and broke through his walls. So eventually, he gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And at first you root for him entirely, because he also, he later discovers that, like, he's some of his closest friends and the people that he's been, training in the army with to fight those monsters were actually the fucking monsters that killed him, killed a bunch of people and his mom, bro. Like, what the fuck? So this, I think, is the thing that really broke him. I think this broke him. He couldn't believe it. He could not believe it when he found out, when he was told, like, this is who we are and you're coming with us, like, join us. Like, what the fuck? What? And that rage just kept compounding and building and building and building. And then later down the line, he discovers that he has a brother, and his brother, has a plan to stop, the war between the people inside the wall and the people outside the wall. You know what I'm saying? Marley and the Eldians. The Eldians is Eren's race. And his brother basically lives in a prison camp. You know what I'm saying? And his brother is one of the, quote unquote Eldians that, before the wall was built, kind of didn't make it to the wall type shit. You know what I'm saying? Didn't go with the king that built the walls and removed the memories of all the citizens about the real history of the nation, of Paradise Island and the people. And that they were monsters against the world at some point, but that the world, drove them to, well, he actually decided to drive his own people into a birdcage and keep them entrapped, and then hide secrets from them, so that they may never, so they may never repeat the same mistakes that they did. I'm saying? Again, decisions forced onto him, and the people he cares about, without any, without any way to combat it until he gains the means. So then, obviously, of course, as he gains this information, I think his rage only keeps increasing, and he gains this information by touching the princess, right? Because the princess has the lineage of the founding titan, and because of that, I think that's when the messages from himself actually really happen, and he also gets to see the real story of what actually fucking happened. You know what I'm saying? And I think this continues to increase his rage. And then when he meets his brother, and him and his brother kind of align a little bit, and his brother has a plan of like, let's, let's actually get the founding titan, which he basically already had. He was like, I have the founding titan, like, so let's connect, the two of us, let's connect and change. If we both connect, we could actually, change and just utilize every Eldian. Like, we could kill our whole race so that the world never has to deal with Titans again. We can just end the whole Titan fiasco. You know what I'm saying? And Eren was like, yo, that's a beautiful fucking plan. Now, you have to understand, Eren has been angry at these people for killing his people. So why the fuck do you think in any world he would say, oh, yes, let me euthanize my own people? The same people I'm trying to fucking murk the world for, that I'm pissed off that they killed. You think I'm gonna let them motherfuckers die and everybody else live? Fuck them niggas, bro. That's what Eren said, man. It was beautiful, man. And so Eren, what I'm saying? I'm such a hypocrite. I'm out here like, yeah, man, go Eren, man. So I'm not even a Jaegerist. Like, that shit, like, say, come on, I feel him, though. I feel him. So, he ends up taking the founding Titan powers from his brother, because, man, the story is so fucking complicated. Like, but basically he ends up, I don't want to like over explain it, but he basically gets the power from his brother in a way. He controls the power that his brother has. And instead of like euthanizing his people, he decides, I'm setting them free. And how does he decide to set them free? He finally got the power to attack the world. What does he do? He creates a thing called the rumbling, which is basically those walls. All of those walls were made from Titans. Those walls that's been keeping them in a box. Those walls are made from thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of these gigantic Titans known as colossal Titans, and they just excrete heat. You know what I'm saying? Heat. And not only that, he also turned more people into Titans. You know what I'm saying? Because he can control every single Eldian. You know what I'm saying? And the bloodline. That's the power of the founding Titan. And so he sends those big ass colossal Titans to just stomp the world. And so they march through the seas and lands, and they can go underwater. They don't need to breathe. They just keep going. And they begin stomping out the world. And he's leading the march. You know what I'm saying? As a big, massive skeleton founding Titan thing. And so he goes and he walks and he leads the march of stomping out the world. Now, why I think both of them are similar, and I kind of want to talk about the connection of how the rage and being out of control and not being in control of the circumstances is what led these two characters to the extremes. Now, while Doflamingo was limited by power and strength because he simply had not the opportunity to grow strong enough to outright just attack the world, he was doing it in a more covert, slowly, intricate way. Eren Yeager did gain the ultimate trump card. He did gain those nuclear weapons. And because he gained those nuclear weapons, he let loose and started bombing everywhere on the planet that he could. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just a beautiful mesh there. You know what I'm saying? And how just, I think people in general, like if you look at, Hitler, bro. Hitler's whole rage may have never happened if he was fucking accepted to art school, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, how weird is that, bro? How weird is that? Like, so there's a bunch of things like this that I think even real life history showcases. Like, people's rage can be so uncontrollable and extreme. And these characters portray that, I think, really, really well. I think Eren portrays it in a more holistic, like, if you come from a war-torn country, you know what I'm saying? Why do suicide, quote unquote, suicide bombers exist? It's an extreme reaction of murder and pillaging and all type of situations. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're gonna disagree with them because they're killing innocent people, but to their view, your motherfuckers kill our innocent people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a really intricate thing that happens where, you know, if you look at it from a neutral stance without the emotional connections that we have when shit like that happens, and just the humanistic aspect of it, and if you're just an alien and you're looking at it, it's just revenge. And I think that's what these two people have in common, is the rage and revenge. That's all. I just wanted to talk about it. It's been your boy Supreme Cheer to God. I hope you guys can see the parallels between the characters. I just don't want the video to be much longer than this because it's way too long already than I intended. But I thought it was actually going to be like a 5 minute video. I don't know how the fuck I thought that. Like, I'm so stupid. But anyway, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and comment, and subscribe. It's been your boy Supreme Cheer to God. What you guys think about Doflamingo and Eren Yeager? Do you see the connections between them and the Angers, despite, you know, having different backgrounds and different outcomes and different stories, yet they both kind of have a very similar route, you know what I'm saying? A route and a similar trajectory, you know what I'm saying, of where they were leading to life. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Subscribe.